Hello, so here we go. Some home Pilates and a few little things I need to just suggest or tell you first. Please try and work out where you've got plenty of space. So you need the floor to be clear. If you've got a mat, then please put a mat. Try not to be tempted to do it on the bed because the bed actually is not good for your back. You need a hard, flat surface, but with a bit of cushioning, a towel would do, or a mat. If you need anything for under your neck, you might get a sponge or a cushion or a towel rolled up just to really sort of protect your neck if you feel you need it. But if you don't need it, then that's wonderful. The other thing is I'm not actually being able to see you to check that you're doing the exercises properly. So please take care. I can't be liable for any problem that might happen, any injury, but hopefully there won't be. So listen to your body. If you're not feeling 100%, please don't work out today. Maybe leave it till tomorrow. So with that, let's get started. I'm not going to stand up to do a warm-up, we're going to just a little sitting down warm-up. So just to start with, we'll get a nice straight back, lift the shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and down. We're going to breathe in to lift up and breathe out to lower down. Let's just do two more of these. Lifting the shoulders up to your ears, sliding them down to your waist. One more, breathing in and slide down, breathing out. I want you just to turn to the side and have your knees bent, reach up to the ceiling, and we're going to stretch and we're going to pull the tummy. I'd like to pull your tummy in as tightly as you can, and now lean forward as if you're rolling over a beach ball that's just on your legs. So you're pushing forwards, pulling the tummy back, reach down, just take hold of your ankles or your calves and hug in, and then lift back up again. We just want to get a bit of flexion through the spine as we would normally do if we were rolling down. So pull the tummy in, and just reach over and pull and stretch forward. Just hug your knees now, push the sides of your knees into your arms, hold here, and now reach back up again. Okay, do one more of these, taking a breath in, breathe out, pull in with the abs, reach forwards, take it down, pull those tummy muscles in, push the knees against your arms, holding here, and then slowly coming back up again, unwinding the spine, just straightening it back up. Bring the arms down by your sides, and now I'm just going to face the front, hands to the floor. We'll just do a little reach. So we're going to take the right arm up and just stretch over. Feel that stretch through the waist and bring it in front, rather like we normally do when we're finishing a class, but we're just going to do this warm-up rather than a cool down, returning it into a warm-up, and reach up and just put a little bit of pressure onto your inner thighs, just easing them out, relaxing the shoulders, and now we're going to turn to the side, or I'm going to turn to the side. So I want you just to be lengthways onto your mat, knees bent, and we'll slowly start to roll down to the mat. So pulling up with the tummy or with the ribs, and just tilt the pelvis, slowly roll down. Use your abs and your glutes, take it just down as low as you comfortably can. When you've got to the floor, relax the shoulders down into the mat, let the tops of your arms relax into the mat, and we're just going to tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards. So again, a little loosener through the pelvis, pushing your lumbar spine into the mat, and then encouraging a little bit of an arch under the back. Of course, if you feel anything that feels uncomfortable, any pain, you stop or you modify. Don't perhaps do it quite so much. On this next one, we're going to push the spine down into the mat, keep the pelvis tilted, and just slowly start to lift up. Lifting, so you've got your knees, hips, and shoulders in a line. What can happen here is that the ribs, you're so intent on lifting up, you lift the ribs up. We don't want the ribs to lift, we want the ribs to keep down, but just keeping that nice position from the shoulders down to from the knees to the shoulders. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, feet hip width apart, slowly start to lower the spine back down into the mat. One vertebra at a time. So you're tilting your pelvis as you get to this lower bit, just to get that lumbar spine into the mat. Take a breath in. If you're struggling a little bit to get the lumbar spine into the mat, then on this next one, we'll peel away, lift up, knees, hips and shoulders in line, relax the ribs, and now maybe come up onto the balls of the feet to help you as you roll down. It'll give the pelvis a little bit more maneuver, and then slowly down into the mat. Bring the heels back to the floor, ready to peel away and lift up. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, tilt the pelvis and peel away. Lift up, knees, hips and shoulders in a line. Hold here, and now you might like to walk your heels in a little bit closer to you. We're just going to raise alternate heels. So lift one and then the other. And now if you feel that that's too easy for you, you might have to keep going with that. If that's too easy, then I'd like you just to lift the right knee 4 times and put it back down. You'll feel this in the left supporting leg. Lift up, breathing out, and breathe in, put it back to the floor. 2 more. Keep the hips lifting. Try not to let the ribs expand. 1 more. And now we're going to change to the other side. So if this is too much for you, you're going to go back to alternate heel raises. 4 to the left. Getting the heel, the knee in line, or the heel in line with the knee. 1 more. And lift. Put that foot to the floor. Both feet to the floor. If you feel you need, it helps to raise the heels, then please do. Otherwise, keep the heels to the floor. Work the spine. Slowly, slowly, slowly down into the mat. When you've got to the mat, just release, and so we're just going to do a little arch and back down, just a little pelvic tilt again. Now get the spine down into the mat, nice strong core control, and here are the options. We're going to start either just lifting one knee and put it back to the floor, breathing out, breathe in to put it to the floor, and now the other. We're going to go from side to side, lifting and back to the floor, and lifting. If you're able, lift the right knee, hold it there, and lift the left. We want the knee entirely in line with the hip, so try not to bring it too far forwards and try not to have it pushing away. So this position, and the heel directly in line with the knee, so tabletop. We'll tap and lift. So if this is too much, you're going to keep going with one foot to the floor as I showed you earlier, just tapping and lifting, lifting alternate feet off the floor. Otherwise, we tap and lift. So this is going to start to work the core. If when you're doing this, you start to feel this happen, can you see my spine lifting up? Then you need to realign, bring the feet to the floor, get that spine back into the mat, and go back to singles. But as long as your back is feeling comfortable and your core muscles are taking the strain here, keep going with the tapping. Some of you will be able to work a little bit harder still, tapping a bit further away. So just see how this feels, but keep it, bring it back to the neck, to the previous option if that's too much. You might be comfortable tapping both feet together and lifting. So tapping, pull in with the abs and lift. Breathe in to tap, tap a bit further away if you feel you can. That's seriously working the abs, and it could put stress through the back. So if that's the case, bring it back in a little bit so you're not putting too much strain. We're going to do 4 more. So we breathe in to tap, make sure you bring the heels back in line with the knees, not letting them drop down to your bottom. Excellent, and I make this the last one, I think. Oh, let's do 1 more for luck. Okay, and 1 more. Tapping and lifting, hug your knees into your chest. We're going to just come into rolling like a ball. So from here, just doing a little gentle tilt forwards and back, and just working through the spine, and back up a little bit higher, and a little bit higher. Okay, now on this next one, if you can hold balance, do just for a second, and now bring the feet to the floor. I'm just going to turn to face you for a moment. Okay, so the feet are now to the floor. We're going to, actually no, I will stay over to the side, sorry. So we're going to have feet there, we're going to reach up to the ceiling, we're going to do a little half roll back, pull in with the abs, take it back as far as you can to make it easier, bring the arms down, or even hold the back of your knees if you feel the need to, and then lift back up again. So taking a breath in, if you want to work it harder, keep the arms in line with your ears. Breathe in and hold, and breathe out to lift and straighten up. We'll do 4 more of these, pulling in, and lifting up, breathing out, and 3. And here's the last one. So slowly now, rolling all the way down, pull in, pull in, pull in. Take it right the way down to the mat. When you've got to the mat, have both knees bent. Now you can either, arms out a little way, you can either keep the feet to the floor and just drop the right knee out to the side, breathing in. Now slowly pulling up, using these core muscles. Your pelvic floor muscle as well, take it to the left. And slowly pull up. If you feel that your abs are strong enough, your back's strong enough to take this, lift up into tabletop. If you feel any strain on your back on this, please bring the feet back to the floor. So we're just taking it out to the side and back in. Use those core muscles. It's not just a lift and now you're pulling in here as you take it out. And now on this next one, either with the feet to the floor or into tabletop, drop both knees. and bring it back up to the centre and to the other side. You'll feel this working your waist, up through your arms, insides of the arms here. Take it to the side, breathing in, and zip up with the pelvic floor, pull up, breathing out. We're going to do 4 more of these. If it gets uncomfortable at any stage, put your feet to the floor. 3. Actually, I think it's 1 more. So we could do 1 more to each side, sorry. And last one here, to the side and up to the centre. Hug your knees, lift your head and shoulders. Brilliant. Now put the feet to the floor. Take your arms overhead, feet are hip width apart. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, just lift the head and shoulders and reach forwards. Take a breath in and hold. And breathe out to lower back down. And when you take your arms over, if you feel that you bring your hands to the floor, I don't know if you can see, if it causes that back arch here, then you want to just bring the hands to about here. So that keeps the back stabilised into the mat. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, pull in and lift up, reach forwards, breathe in and hold. And breathe out to lower down. If this is too much on your neck, you could put your hands behind your head to lift up that way, if that gives you a little bit more support. Or if it's still too much through your neck, just keep the head and shoulders to the floor, just reach the arms forwards. You might bring one knee up and then put it to the floor instead of lifting the head and shoulders. And back down. So we've got 4 more, breathing out, reach forwards, take a breath in and hold, and breathe out to lower down. And 2 more, breathing in, breathe out, lift up, reach forwards, take a breath in and hold, and breathe out. Last one here. Now if you're able to, float up with your right knee, take the right hand to your right ankle, left hand to the knee. Because you've got the support holding here, it should be easier on your neck. We're going to just push the left heel away and hold. Push that heel away from you. And now I'm going to swap left hand to left ankle, right hand to the knee, push the right heel away, hold, lift up a little bit higher, and hold, and hold. We're going to do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees, take the head and shoulders to the floor. Just do a little circular motion, twice one way and twice back the other way. Excellent. Bring the feet to the floor, hands by your sides. We're going to slowly roll back up into shoulder bridge, lifting up, knees, hips and shoulders in a line, feeling the abs working. Now just taking the right knee up into tabletop if you can, and straighten that leg, bend, and bring it back to the floor. Now if this is too much and you feel it's too much on your back, I'd like you just to roll back down again and lift back up again from side to side, straightening and back down. So if it's too much, you're not going to do this position of straightening the leg. We're just going to keep the feet to the floor, roll back down and lift back up. It's really good for your back. And this is just working your hamstrings, your glutes. Lift, straighten. 1 more now, keeping that lift. Lift, straighten, bend, both feet are to the floor, work the spine back down, slowly into the mat. Brilliant. Now roll over onto your side. So you roll over onto your right side, propping yourself up onto your forearm. A little bit. Okay, so we're going to have the left hand down by your side and just lift and lower. Try not to roll forwards and back. Make sure your shoulders and your heels are in line. Do 8 of these. Well done. 2 more. So if this feels uncomfortable for you, come down into this position. 1 more. Or you could even put your towel or your little sponge under you. Now we're going to take that leg forwards and back. Your choice whether you're propped up or whether you're lying down. That leg's just going to go forwards, toes are flexed, point as you take it back. Oh, I've got a real roll on then. Flex and point. So we're going to do 4 of these, 8 of these. So I think that's 5, 6. Well done. 2 more. 7. My shoulders are moving a bit and they shouldn't really be. We should be keeping the shoulders as steady as you possibly can. Now you can either just keep going with the lifting and lowering or bend your bottom knee and lift the hips up to the ceiling. And now we're going to do 4 lift and lowers. So if you want to just do the lift and lowering without lifting the hips off the floor, that's fine. And now take that leg forwards and back. 4 of these. 2 more. Try to keep as steady as you can. 1 more. Okay, brilliant. Now, so your hips might still be to the floor. So if that's the case, I'd like you just to keep going with leg raises. Otherwise, I'd like you to thread through and reach up. Going to do 4, 3, and 2, and 1 more, threading through and reaching up, and now from here come down and roll over onto your tummy. So we're going to have the forehead onto your hands and just flexing the toes, keeping the hips into the mat, alternate leg raises. Toes are pulled up towards you, breathe out to lift and in to lower. So you're going from side to side, just checking, can you see my toes? You probably can't quite, I might move up a little bit. So just lifting and lowering, breathing out to lift and in to lower, keeping the toes pulled up towards you. And now, if you can, lift the opposite arm to leg. So if you've been coming to my classes, you'll be really familiar with this move. We're lifting the elbow off the floor and the back of the hand is glued to the forehead. So if this feels uncomfortable for you, just keep going with the legs. We're going to lift, pull in with the abs. Make sure that you're not using your back to do the lift. If you feel any pain in the back, you need to modify this or stop. So we're lifting up, breathing out, pull the elbows back, elbow back, and back to the forehead before lowering down. Some of you might be able to make a fishtail of your feet. So the heels are together, toes are outside, and lift both legs. Keep the forehead to the floor. Just do 6 of these. Otherwise, we're going to keep going with single alternate leg raises. So we're going to go 3 more, breathing out to lift, or single alternates. Use the stomach muscles and the glutes, not your back. Last one coming up now. And now if you're comfortable with this, we'll add, some of you will still be going alternate leg raises. Otherwise, we're going to add the lifting arms, pull back, hands to the forehead and down. You might just lift and lower if you prefer. You want to work the shoulders, open up through the chest, back to the forehead and down. So it's a lift, pull back, either single or 2 together and then back down. Make sure you bring your hands back to your forehead before you start to lift. 2 more of these. Breathing out to lift, pull the elbows back, breathe in to lower. Last one. Breathe out, pull back and back down to the floor. Sit back from here into a stretch, hips are back, hands are forwards. And now I'm going to just come to do the other side before I forget, because I'm very good at forgetting, as you all know, if you regularly come to my classes. So again, propping up, or if you prefer, you can lie down onto your arm with your hand, with this sponge or towel onto your arm. So I'm going to come into this upright position. So toes are pulled up towards you, and we're just going to start by lifting and lowering. So 8 of these. Try not to let the hips roll. I did a little roll then. So we're going to do 4 more of these. Breathe out to lift and in to lower. 3, 2, and 1 more. Excellent. Now we're going to take that leg forwards and back. You might want to put your hand in front to support you, or you might be able to keep your hand onto your leg. I think I need a bit of support. So we're going to flex forwards and point back. Flex forwards. We've got 4 more now. Breathing in and breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now you just bring the feet together. You might want to stay lying down and heels to the feet to the floor, and just keep going with that single leg raise. Otherwise, bend the bottom knee, lift the hips up, and we go here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Those of you who are lying flat to the floor, you're going to take the leg forwards just as you did earlier and back. 4 of these. You'll feel it in the glutes maybe. 2 more. 1 more. Perfect. Okay, now you can bring the foot down. For those of you who are into this position, we're just going to thread through. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going with lifting and lowering the top leg. And we've got 2 more of these. Breathing in and breathe out. 1 more. Breathe in and breathe out. Stretch up and relax down to the floor. Okay, we're going to come back over onto your tummy. So for this, let's pull that up a little bit. So for here, we're going to work into the upper back thoracic. So for this, I'd like you to have your elbows into your waist. Imagine you have a marble under your nose, which you're going to just gently push forwards, just to get the length through the neck, breathing in. As you breathe out, lift up. Lift your, push your arms forward, and keep the ribs into the floor. Start to lift the chest. So you're just walking the elbows in, the chest is lifted, but the ribs are still to the mat. Slide your shoulders down towards your waist to feel that. Right across this top bit of the back, just across there, you should be feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, don't worry, we're going to do one more like this. Nudging that imaginary marble forward, breathing in, breathe out, lift up, bring the elbows together as close as you can and almost straightening your arms, and then just gently walk the arms a little way. Keep the shoulders sliding down, keep the ribs into the mat. Perfect. Okay, now if you can't feel it, don't worry, we'll take the elbows out wide. So your elbows are in line with your shoulders, hands in line with the elbows. Take a breath in, you're looking to the floor all the time. As you breathe out, lift up, slide the shoulders, keep those shoulders pulling down towards your waist. Feel the ribs pushing into the mat. Hopefully, if you didn't feel it on the previous one, you will feel it now. Take a breath in and hold, and breathe out to relax back down. Breathe in to prepare, and breathe out. Lift, push the ribs into the mat, and relax back down. Now you go with which one you prefer. If you prefer the elbows into the waist, lengthening through the neck, you go with that. If you're happier with the one we've just done with the elbows wide, then you just go with that one. You might feel it exactly the same, in the same place with both moves. It's your choice which you do on this. And you might not feel it at all. Don't worry if you don't feel it at all. That's normal, but we need to get that movement. We need to try to get that movement through the upper back so that that's going to be working with the lower back, with the abs. We're not putting all the strain through the lower back, all happening with the core muscles, but you've got that nice flexibility through the upper spine, and it prevents kyphosis where you have an arched back. So do one more of these, and then just sit back into a stretch. Hips are back, hands forward, stretch it out. And now up onto your hands and knees. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. And we're going to start with a nice arch, pushing the spine up to the ceiling, tuck the chin onto the chest, pull the tummy in as tightly as you can. And now drop it down to the floor, let the shoulders slide. And again, pull the tummy up, really feel those abs working as you pull the tummy back up to the spine. That's a nice flexion, now extension through the spine. We're going to do a little bit more extension in a minute. So from here, just keeping the wrists under the shoulders, breathe in and dip down, and breathe out to straighten up. This is working your upper body, your pectoral muscles across your chest, your biceps and your arms. Breathe in to take it down, out to lift up. For most of you, maybe too easy. Let's bring the hands forwards if you prefer. Drop the hips. Here's where it gets a little bit difficult, especially if there's no one to see what you're doing. We're keeping the hips level with the shoulders, breathing in and breathing out. Now, you might find, or you might not even be aware, but what can happen is we take it down, breathing in, and then boom, the hips come back. We don't want the hips to come back. You want to keep the hips level. So some people think that the hips are level and they're here and they're taking it down. Oh, that's not too bad. As soon as you get those hips level, you'll really start to feel the upper body working. Some of you might even like to come onto your hands and toes. Still again, keeping the hips down. Breathe in and straighten up, breathing out. So it's your choice which option you use. Okay, I'm going to do two more. Breathe in and breathe out, and one more. And sit back into a stretch. Hips are back, hands are forwards, stretch it out. Come down onto your tummy, and we're going to work into the lumbar. So that's this small bit of your back. So for this, elbows into your waist. Now this is where, if you have back problems, you need to be really careful. So if you're feeling any pull or strain, or you might be very just stiff through your back, be aware and take note and act accordingly. So if your back is absolutely fine, you've got the elbows right into the waist. If your back is giving you a little bit of trouble, take the hands a little bit further forwards, a little bit further away from you. We're going to just lift up onto the forearms, looking ahead, dropping the shoulders, your tummy muscles are pulling in, your glutes are tightening. You're holding here. Now some of you that might be enough, you might even have your hands further away if your back's if you're known to have back issues. Now just lift up onto your hands, drop the shoulders, look ahead, take a breath in, and breathe out, lower, slowly down, and breathe in to prepare, and breathe out, lift up onto your hands if you can, looking straight ahead, sliding your shoulders, breathing in, abs working, and breathe out to slowly lower down. We're going to do 4 more of these, breathing in to prepare. Breathe out, lift and up. So just be aware of your shoulders. Sometimes it's very tempting to have the shoulders up here. We don't even realise we're doing it. Shoulders are down. So maybe just have a go now, putting your shoulders up to your ears and then drop them down, and that'll make you aware of the fact they might have been a little bit lifted. So keep breathing. So we're taking a breath in and breathe out, lift and look ahead, breathe in and breathe out to lower down. I've really lost count, so we do 2 more. Breathing in. If it's feeling a little bit too much in your back, then stop or take the hands further away from you so you're not putting quite so much extension through that spine. Breathing in and breathing out. 1 more, or was that the last? Who knows? Let's just do another one for the heck of it. Take a breath in and breathe out. Lift up, look ahead, slide the shoulders, breathe in and hold. And breathe out to lower down. And now sitting back into a stretch. Hips are back, hands are forward, stretch it out. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, back up onto the hands and knees. So now let me just make sure I'm in the right position here. Okay, so we're going to just extend the opposite arm and opposite leg. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, extend. Now it's quite, sometimes the hips can lift, so we just want to keep those hips level. Drop them down if necessary. Toes are pointing, fingers are pointing. Take a breath in and breathe out, bring it back down. So actually we're going to breathe in now. Breathe out, extend and level the hip. Breathe in to bring it down. Breathe out, stretch and breathe in. Okay, we're going to do 4 more, just like this, and then we might change it a bit. Extend, and 3, getting the hips as level as you can. So really stretching to make sure the inside of the arm is brushing your ear, so we're in line with the ear. Last one here. Bring it back, sit back into a stretch, hips back, hands forwards. And come down onto your tummy. We're going to work the front of the leg here, the quadriceps. So forehead onto your hands, bend your knees, and just push that foot up to the ceiling, keeping your hip into the mat. Do 4 to the right. Breathe out, push up, keep the ceiling, sole of the foot to the ceiling, hip into the mat. 2 more. Push up, and down, and 1 more. And we'll change sides. So we're going to go with the left leg. So just bending the knee, toes are flexed, push the foot up to the ceiling, keep the hip into the mat. 4, 3, always modify if anything feels too much. Last 2, last 1. Now you can keep going with that, so you could go back to the right and just lift and lower, or if you're able, but if you feel any pull in your back across here, then please stop. If you can comfortably take hold of your foot, please do. So we're going to take hold of that foot, keep the hip into the mat, lift up, breathing out, and breathe in. 4, 3, keeping the hip to the floor. 2, and 1, and change to the other side. Remembering that if that feels too much, it might be fine on one side and not so good on the other. If it feels horrible, you're going to go back to just lifting and lowering without holding. You might find it's just impossible to hold. So just see how you do here. 2 more. And more. And release. Okay, now from here, if you feel you can, you might want to just lie on your tummy and pull the abs in if you've done enough, just pulling your tummy away from the mat and then relaxing down. If you're able to, take hold of both legs and lift and back down. And we'll do 4, 3, okay, well that was a good old crick in my knee. 2, and last 1. Take a breath in, breathe out, lift and hold, and relax down. Sit back into a stretch. Hips are back, hands are forward, stretch it out. Well done. Okay, you're doing so well, folks. I don't often do these exercises because I'm just actually watching what you're doing. And I put you through it a bit, don't I? Anyway, let's go back down to the mat. And we'll work into the sacrum. So we've done the thoracic part of the spine, done the lumbar. We're now going to work down into the sacrum. So for this, get your arms forwards, hands together. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, start to walk your elbows in towards you. Lifting. If you can come up onto your hands, do. But if your back is known to be a bit tricky, then keep the elbows to the floor. We're going to look up to the ceiling. Oh, I've got cramp in my foot. Okay, so we're going to look up to the ceiling, holding, take a breath in, abs are in, and breathe out, take it away. So breathe in to prepare, and breathe out. Start to walk in, looking up, breathe in and hold, shoulders are down, and breathe out to walk it back away from you. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out, walk the hands up, look up to the ceiling, take a breath in, and breathe out. We'll do one more of these. So just walking the hands as near to you as you comfortably can. So some of you will want to stop here. You might even want to keep your elbows to the floor looking up. Others will bring the hands in much closer and really look ceiling, but make sure you keep your hips into the floor. We don't want the hips lifting. They need to stay right down into the mat or the floor. And relax down. Sit back into a stretch when you're ready. Hips are back, hands are forwards. And we'll come back up to sitting. So, feet, or rather, your feet are hip width apart. And lifting up, pulling up from under the ribs, nice straight back, take a breath in. And then you can hold the backs of the legs if you like, or you can just keep the hands here or hands here. As you breathe out, lower down, not all the way. Take a breath in and hold. Now I'm going to link fingers, and we're just going to do a little twist to the right and to the left. So we do 8 of these. If it gets too much, sit up a little bit higher. Make sure you're not right down onto your back to here. You want to be up onto your sacrum. We don't want the thoracic part of the back to the floor. And it's 4 more. Twist and centre and twist and 2. And 1. Perfect. Roll down to the mat. And now from here, back up into tabletop. Anybody who finds it's too much to lift into tabletop, please keep your feet to the floor. Otherwise, so you can keep feet to the floor, and you could just go, you could just hug one knee and then the other. Otherwise, I'd like you to hug both knees into your chest. And we're just going to hold here for a second, and then extend both legs out, bring the arms round and hug the knees in. So we breathe out, arms are in line with your ears, feet are together, then keep the feet together, bring the arms round, hug. So taking a breath in, as you breathe out, and breathe in. 4. Okay, well done. Pulling the abs in. 2 more. Try to keep the head and shoulders lifted. Try not to let them drop down as you take the arms overhead. Last one. Hug. And now feet to the floor. Run the heels away from you. Take a breath in, arms above your head. As you breathe out, slowly start to lift up. You're pulling the abs in tightly as you lift. Oh my gosh, I'm so out of practice, I can't do it. Oh, and lift up, reach forwards, take a breath in, breathe out, take it forwards. Just going to pull the mat back a bit. I think I'm slinking away. Okay, so we're going to reach up to the ceiling, take a breath in as you breathe out. See if you can reach to your toes or towards your toes. For 3, 2, 1, reach up to the ceiling. We'll roll down, pull in with the abs. Just shows how quickly you can lose the exercise, lose the muscle tone. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, pull the abs in. We're going to slowly start to lift up. Oh, and I'm having to really force myself because I haven't been doing any Pilates for 2 weeks. Having moved house, I've been